Southwest Florida, we're on the River District. It is a beautiful day. Thousands of people are here to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Day. And what better people to have on Leaf Pitts Live who stopped by the show to talk about Dr. King and some other things going on in the city than Fort Myers' finest. We have the Chief of Police here, Chief Eads for the city of Fort Myers, and Lieutenant Jelks, good friend of mine, long time ago, taught his kid how to swim. We met back then, and we've been good friends ever since. Let me bump y'all in right here. So we got some cool police officers. Hey, one of the things I noticed since I've been out here already, just observing law enforcement moving around, I even saw you over there by the bounce house, I think it was. So you guys are interacting with the people while you're keeping us safe at the same time. Is that a part of community policing?
It's all about it. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it's all about. You can stand around with your hands in your pockets, not going to get anything done.
How many police officers do we have out here today?
Oh, I'm not exactly sure how many, but probably about 15.
Any problems?
None yet.
Randy,
don't foresee any either.
Right. Lieutenant Jelks. I'm trying to be formal with you,
yes.
Randy. When we have these large events like this, particularly as it relates to black people in this particular case, do we usually have incidents, or is usually no problems?
Usually there's no problem. Every now and then you may have like a little minor disturbance here and there, but majority of them, I did this like the last 5 years, and we have no incidents at all.
Right. The reason I bring that up, because the misconception a lot of times, and you've spoken to this too, is that black people commit all the crime, causing all the problems. You even told me this, Chief, that is a big misconception, right?
It's huge, yeah. And usually the media is what plays all that up more than anything, because that's the stories that go and go and go.
When you move around, Chief Ibbs, now, are you finding that people know who you are when you're moving around amongst the crowd, or are they still getting to know you?
Well, I've worked here for 30 years. I'm going on I'm in my 30th year. So I know a lot of people over that time. And I've met a lot more people since, taking this position. But I know a lot of folks in the community.
How would you describe diversity in Fort Myers Police Department? Do we have a lot of diversity in terms of racial diversity, Hispanics and blacks? We see a lieutenant here who's black.
Not going to say that it's a lot. It could be better. But I'm going to say it's probably average. It's right around 12% African American, and a little more than that Hispanic.
Okay.
So,
Lieutenant Jelks, you've been on the ground for a long time. How important is it that we have diversity in law enforcement? Do you see a difference in how people can relate?
Yes. People look up to, for myself, people will actually come up, volunteer to come and give me information. I grew up, I worked here 30 years, but this is also where I grew up yet. I attended public school here and everything else. And everybody basically, they'll know me by first name, and they'll call me up if I have a problem. They have a problem, and I'll see if I can solve the problem for them. But a lot of it is now, we've had other officers that actually come through our department, minority officers. They went on to be federal officers, law enforcement officers in other agencies.
Chief Ibbs, Dr. Martin Luther King Day. When you think about Dr. King on your job as a law enforcement high-ranking official, what are some things that, in terms of Dr. King's mission, his preaching, that you try to implement in your daily relating to people?
Well, the biggest thing is communication, probably. Because everyone has to communicate. Everyone has to know what the message is. And as far as it goes to Dr. King, of course, I was a child when all this happened, but it was communication and making change through peace. Violence is only going to create more violence. So there has to be a calmer and cooler head that comes in and talks and deals with things. And that's one of the things I think you see here. It's happening here. This is a community, a large group of people are all together. They're all focused. They're all having fun, and they all want good things to happen in the future.
Same question, Randy. Lieutenant Jelks, Dr. King, when you think about Dr. King and you go about your life as a law enforcement officer, what are some things that Dr. King would be proud of the way you approach your job?
He made a difference for us growing up. Back then, a lot of minorities didn't become police officers for that fact. But we get more, we're getting out more in the public, we're getting out in the community, and it's being able to help us.
I'm just curious right now. I see you guys sitting here like we're doing my lifeguard day. When I'm a lifeguard, I'll be at a pool not working.
Right.
I may go to any pool, Lieutenant, and I'm not working. I just go to swim.
Right.
But at a hotel or anything, but I'm constantly looking around for safety issues. I can tell, even though you guys are sitting here, you're still scanning the place.
Yes, sir.
Is that just like a natural thing?
I think it is. It just comes over time. And it's always important. This is it's a peaceful event. So we want to make sure, and there's some folks that don't want it to be a peaceful event that we're supposed to be here. So that's what we're keeping an eye out for.
And a couple of bad apples can spoil everything. Speak to that.
Yes, they can. We try to weed out all the bad apples itself. I mean, like I said, one little incident can cause a big riot and cause people to get hurt, and we don't want that. We want everybody to come out here, enjoy themselves, be safe, and have fun.
Right. I understand now we have security cameras downtown.
Correct.
Does that feed right into your police department in some kind of big computer room with all these screens? Tell us how it looks.
It kind of looks like that. It's not that futuristic, but there's 55-inch TV monitors, and we can split it up just like you've seen in studios. And you can see all the different views from all the different cameras.
How would that make downtown safer? How would that make our community safer? All these cameras.
It gives up. Sorry, the people. The dispatchers can basically, when the board look at the board, be able to tell if something's going on downtown. The officer can respond a lot more quicker to the incident itself, and basically they'll get a live feed actually what's going on. If we have an incident where somebody does something and takes off, they can be able to give us a direction of travel and the code description and everything else. They have to take the person into custody to avoid any other problem.
I understand, Chief Eads, that there's a goal, long-term goal is to expand more cameras throughout the entire city.
Absolutely.
Can you speak to that a bit?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I think the cameras myself, I believe, are a huge deterrent because no criminal wants to be seen. Obvious. So if there's video cameras on the corners, they're not going to do their crime there. So there's some of the neighborhoods where things are going on that we need to have work in, and we've actually had several residents in different neighborhoods that have had violence in the past saying we want cameras in our neighborhood. So
good. Pennies for Progress. Speak to it. What is it?
It's a program where hopefully at some point it'll make it to the referendum, on a referendum for a vote, where the sales tax will go up a minuscule amount for everything you buy, penny, and that money will be used for youth programs to help the youth in Lee County to give them a better chance in life.
What do people need to do? Where do they need to go to find out more about Pennies for Progress?
Well, they're at Harborside this Saturday morning. This coming Saturday morning, there's going to be an event there, and Mr. Muhammad will be there discussing it, talking about it. There'll be plenty of information on hand.
That's Executive Director, Quality Life Center, folks, Mr. Abdul Muhammad. I'd like to thank both of you for stopping by.
Welcome.
I know you continue to keep us safe. Chief, I've been trying to get Lieutenant for a long time.
You can mark it off your to-do list.
It works out pretty good. Now, let me ask you this, and I can get you on the record. If I see any of your other officers out there, do I have permission from you to just chat with them right quick?
If they want to talk to you, absolutely.
They will, but they always say, got to go through the chief.
Okay.
Hey, the chief just approved it, so I might grab some other folk.
I'll remove that barrier. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Send any of them over here. Let me talk to them. I like talking to them.
Mike.
Protect yourself.